Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another show. My name is Tyler, and I'm here with Matt, the founder of ORATS. ORATS is an options analytics platform built on top of over 15 years of historical options data. Our dashboard is integrated with Tradier, meaning you can research and discover trades on our platform and then seamlessly send them through to your Tradier brokerage account. Today on the show, we're going to show you our new journaling tool and discuss how it can help improve the trading process. Matt, do you want to share a screen and go over our positions from last week?
Sure, Tyler. So last week we had a trade on in SPY. I can barely see that. Where we sold it for $1.69. We did a back test and ran it. Let's take a look at that. So yeah, cool things is, right now it's the market has rallied a little bit, but let's take a look at it. I like to look at in our trade history, and now we'll take a look at it in our new journal. So here's the trade history of that. Let's look at it for a couple weeks. So we put it on around the 10th at $1.69, right about there, and then it went up, or actually went down. Market fell. It was as low as 58 cents, and that went up as high as $2.30, and now it's about a break even right now, Tyler.
All right.
However, we should show how that looks in the trade journal. So we have under our positions. So let's clear that out. So this is a beta version. So, it's not going to be as smooth as the production version, but we're inviting beta users to come on. So if you're interested, let us know. Just email support@orats.com. So you could go to the trade journal and let's just look at all trades. So this is over a long period. Let it be known that this is mostly testing our software and not doing trades to make money, but some of ours are, because that's what we're doing on the show. But I could look at the positions that I had on. I could look at the ones that I've entered the latest, and so when I sort it that way, I could see on February 10th. Here's that short call spread that we put on. Last night we were up 750, but we do the calculations every night. One of the future improvements is to get this updating live. But for now, we're happy to make our baby steps towards an awesome journal. So why don't we step back, Tyler, and talk about just what a journal is, where it fits into a trading philosophy and all that. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds good. And then I did have some questions on the journal, but we can go over those after this.
Yeah, let me just step back, because what we're trying to do at ORATS is help people make money whatever way we can. Some people come in and just need small things, and we want to help them out that way. Other people come in looking for more. So we want to offer the entire trading experience, and also be able to offer it modularly, so people could come in and get the data or tools that they need to help them be more successful trading. So in my many years of trading, I've broken down the top 4 things that I think you need to do in order to be successful. You have to have very good research. How are you going to create your edge? You have to find some edge and understand why you're going to make money. It's very competitive out there. But the traders, the individual traders, can really hone into one area and learn that better than market makers are very knowledgeable. Professional hedge fund managers are very knowledgeable, but they're often broader scoped than an individual is. So if you could find an area in your research that you could effectively become an expert in, that's where you want to, I think, go after and figure out why you have an edge compared to everyone else. Very smart people out there. So we have backtesters for this. We have a ton of data. We have a ton of tools. Just a plethora of things that you could go in and be, an expert much faster using ORATS data and tools. So once you've found a place, then you need to have a good way to implement that strategy. Now, what we have for ORATS is, we're tied to brokers. We have paper trading that you could test it out. And, that kind of bridges the gap between research and implementation. You want to make sure that you're following your backtest in your implementation and following your research, following your edge. So that's an important step.
Would you say that like scanners fit into the implementation as well, like stock and option scanners?
Absolutely. That's how you find the right trades that you've researched out. So that's all in that implementation phase. And that's where most people live, right? But it's super important. The other parts get overlooked a bit. People tend to spend most of their time in the implementation and research phases, right? And they miss, which are equally, if not more important, risk management and reviewing how you're doing. So that's what we're actually gonna talk more about review today. And ORATS is logically, we started as a big back tester. We've added our broker connections and alerts and all the scanners and all that. We've had a risk management and position system now that we could bring in positions and calculate max loss and max gains, and we have some plans to really improve the risk management as well. And now we're into review. So that's our journal, and that's really looking at the trades that you've made and how profitable you've been, where you've been profitable, when you were profitable, when you weren't profitable. Those are all the things that we're looking at now. Does that all make sense, Tyler?
Yeah, it does. And we're only going to be improving on these pillars, right? Like that's sort of where ORATS has been and where we're going as well. So you guys can expect more tools to come out for, better review, like the trade journal, better research, better implementation, better risk management. And that's sort of what you get by subscribing to ORATS, is just constantly better data and tools for this process.
And that's a way to also that's the process for individuals. Individuals need to make the same kind of commitment that ORATS is making to have your tools, your data help you in all these four categories. So this is a way to organize your thinking about yourself and about the progress that you're making as a trader. You need to be a professional. You need to take it very seriously in order to compete out there. And this is a way, much like in parallel to what ORATS is doing, adding to our research, adding to our implementation, adding to our risk management, adding to our review tools and data. You should be making that same commitment to do the research, understand your niche, do some back testing, do some, whatever it is, technical analysis, test it. And then once you do that, implement it in paper trading, implement it small, watch your risk management, what's your max loss. Mark Anderson had a really good quote. If you have a probability of ruin anywhere in your trading, you don't really have any edge. And I think that's very well said. You have to watch your units. If the market takes off and you have infinite loss, or you could go bankrupt, you don't have a trading system. You have a hope strategy. So you really have to watch your risk management. And then the review is critical too, because you then need to see how your assumptions you made in the research phase have played out. And now, did the research fall out of bed just from the research assumptions, or was the implementation such that it hurt the results that you thought? I got an email today from someone who's doing some testing, and he's saying, the slippage assumptions are critical for the strategy that I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, you have to watch all this stuff. Like just small slippage assumptions can affect an entire strategy. So anyway, I wanted to point out where we are in the whole phases of trading. So we're in the review phase right now, Tyler. So I think from that we could then jump to looking at the journal, unless you have any questions, kind of how it all fits in here.
I think you described it really well. I think that's one of the things I love about ORATS is how realistic we are about the trading process. You're an ex market maker, and you know how it works. And I think there's a lot of platforms and advice out there that sort of give the idea that there's a silver bullet to trading, right? Like, this zero DTE strategy at this time is going to make you a bunch of money, right? But oftentimes that alpha that they're advertising is fake, right? Like it might be alpha for a time, but it's not consistent alpha. So what we try to do at ORATS is to try to get you that repeatable edge rather than just a one-time edge. We want you to get edge as much as possible all the time.
And edge is only edge is if you capture it and it's repeatable, consistent, and you don't have that possibility of ruin, and you're able to actually describe what you're all doing in a process. Otherwise, it's very difficult to turn that into a trading business, which is what we're really going after, I think, for most people. All right, so let's go from this theory to back to the journal itself.
Yeah, so I did have some questions here. So one is, this is an end of day journal, right? So if you want to see intraday history, you go to the trade history tab. But if you want to see all your positions sort of end of day all together, that's the trade journal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a long term. I mean, this has trades all the way back to March of 24. So this is kind of a longer term look. We are going to have some live data. We are going to, there are additions that we're going to do to this, but we want to get this out for feedback. One of our strategies at ORATS is to get our tools out and learn from our clients what's important. So this is one of the things that we're doing now. Right. So we appreciate all that feedback. So like I said, like this table, I've sorted on the latest entry. I could see what I've done lately. I could see this short call spread. So that's really cool. I could then, see how I've done and just spy over this period of time. So I could go and click spy, and I could see, through a period of time, how I've done in SPY and all the trades that we've had here. And by the way, this our journal does do exercises and do all that. It's quite a feat technically to do all this. But you can see, then you have your equity line. You say, well, what happened here? So then you could. This is really cool, Tyler. You could highlight. This is like a range here, and then you could sort it. Like, what happened? Well, I was long stock at that point, and SPY went up, so that's why I made money in that period. So it's really cool to be able to break down, to see your trade history. Imagine if you didn't have this. I mean, so many people don't have this, or I've seen people online that are inputting all these manually. There are a couple of other journaling services, but really none of them are focused on options like we are, and none of them are integrated. So this is a really cool way to integrate a trading journal into an existing system. ORATS sits on top of many brokers, and the big question is when are we gonna have broker integration? So that's our next step here, is to be able to bring in like interactive brokers, TradeStation, Tradier, and be able to see the trades here. But for now, it's paper trading, and this is the first step anyway for most aspiring traders, is to paper trade their strategies and see how it's going, and then you should be able to then compare your results over a certain period of time to backtests and see or benchmarks. How well did this particular strategy, so I could go spy. What do I have on here? Diagonals. I could say, long call calendars. How well did my SPY calendars do, or how well did my call spreads do at certain times over the period, and then I could compare that to a benchmark or whatever. So it's really neat to be able to, look at your underlyings or look at your information by by strategies, so I could see, okay, I've been doing decently. And then you might overlay this with, or look at this in comparison to a backtest to see how well that you've done in a particular strategy, Tyler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really neat. And I love how you can go from backtest to all the way to review now, and sort of complete that 4 pillar circle. And just see how you're backtested. I mean, that's a very important part. And then kind of once you figure out that a strategy can backtest and forward test in the way that you want it, then you can implement it in your brokerage account, which we have connections to.
Yeah, you want to, your expectations have to match your reality, and those are the critical steps that you need to take in order to be successful at trading, is to really research well, really implement well, watch your risk, and then review the whole process. And if it works according to the expectations that you set in your research phase, then you have something good to move forward with, and you have enough data, and you're not overfitting. And this is a good thing about paper trading, is this is kind of the forward test of your strategy that you could then overlay as you update your back tests. You could then see how well that they match each other.
Right. So are you able to import positions from a broker, or will you be able to do that when we integrate brokers?
Yeah, so that's so Interactive Brokers, like, they all keep their trades. Interactive Brokers doesn't have that much history, but we're going to start with just the history that they provide and start saving that information for our clients. And then, yeah, we could start to think that's a good thing to think about, is importing larger CSVs and such. We don't have that yet, but those are the types of things that we want to provide to our clients.
Gotcha. All right. We want to put on a trade for this week, and
so let's
trade journal for next week.
Yeah, so let's just assume that, like, okay, so I've been doing pretty well on calendars, and I did the best on a XLE calendar. So let's that's something that you might look at. So let's do some more of what worked there. So let's go to the option scanner, and first of all, I like to clear everything, add XLE. Let's do a calendar, and actually we could go back and see, was it a long-term or short-term calendar that worked for XLE? So XLE in November, we put it on. It looks like it looks like a very short-term call calendar, 57 cents. The 91s. So yeah, that looks like a pretty good things to start with. So we'll go back XLE. We'll put on a call calendar, and we'll go shorter term, like 1 week. And let's see, we're not getting any results right now, so let's do 2 weeks. There, that's better. All right, so again, the 91, Tyler. A little more expensive, but you have more time here. So let's actually, what we'll do? We'll widen these out. So let's just say from 7 to 45 is fine, and from 3 to 18. So let's see if there are any new ones. So that did change it a little bit. So now we're on the 92s. as the top one. Let's do I like to look at our forecast. I need to filter out the smooths. Let's go negative 1.5 and 1.5. So we filter those things out. We could be looking at things like how wide these bid-ask spreads are, but these are pretty tight. So, and there's open interest on it. So, the scanner is awesome. It has so much information. So we have probability to profit already in there. We don't really need the smooth too much. So now we sorted, the 92. So that looks like the trade today, even though I kind of like this one too. Maybe we'll do both and we'll see how they both work out. Tyler, how's that?
Yeah, let's do both of them, and we can compare them in the Trade Journal next week.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll give them a couple cents, and you could either just send it, or I like to force it. I'm pretty sure that would fill. In the Trade Journal or in the paper trading, that filled. In the paper trading, we have a probability of fill. So let's go back to the option scanner, and let's do that shorter but less expensive. So give them a couple cents and force that. All right. So now what I like to do is put an alert on each one, Tyler. Mm-hmm. And so I don't have to type in everything. So I want look at it. It already says paper trading slope trader hub. So I'm going to adapt that. I'm going to say journal performance good with XLE calendars. And this is for Trader Hub. And so we'll just see when we profit, it automatically puts in how wide the market is. So if it widens out real quick, you're not going to get this alert. So let's submit that for that one. And then we'll put that note on the other one, Tyler, that we're doing it for comparison. So this one will restore from history. So that now we just bring in all all those notes. But we'll say, compare shorter calendar to other longer one. How's that sound?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This doesn't mean we're going to exit. That just means we're going to get an alert. One of the things on calendars that we should say that we've learned in a lot of our back testing. So is that let's see here, you want to see what works well. I was going to say that stop losses don't usually work that well, but this is saying the opposite. So I do stand corrected on that, but let's see what's up with this one. So this is a 75% stop loss. Actually, it looks pretty good, huh? It only gets in when the spread, the stock price is high. So let's look at some of the trade logs. So it hasn't traded since 2023. So this doesn't happen that much. So let's X this out. Let's go for a higher time in the market. And so this is searching 181 million tests, Tyler. So it takes a bit to go do this. But what we're doing is we're looking at some calendars that were in the market quite a bit, and what is the best way to manage those calendars. So the best ones usually are just to take it off after a pretty high profit target. So here's one with a stop loss, but that's a longer period. So let's set the max at like 45 days, which I think was the max on ours before. So and I'm looking at SPY because it has so many. I guess we could look at XLE too, but SPY we ran quite a few with the environment constraints entry and exit triggers. So we want to see, at least on a call calendar in general, and it's close enough. So like, again, there are some 75% ones here. So, but usually what I see is like the better performing ones, they just have usually a higher profit target, which is basically just letting it go to term, Tyler. Let's see if we could find something on an XLE. So XLE, again, entry and exit triggers. Yeah, I don't even think that we ran these with the exit triggers, Tyler.
Yeah, I
so
think that we only ran entry and exit triggers for SPY and IWM.
Right.
Or maybe there was a few others. I'm not sure, but
yeah, SPY, IWM, and the Qs, I think. But because it's just so many. Like here, we only have 1,000 back tests. So in order to do all these different tests, we had to cut back on what we're doing. So that's why I like to look at SPY and maybe like IWM in order to have something comparable, that we could look at for kind of an overall rule for exiting. And again, so we're seeing a lot of high profit targets here. So maybe we could set a 150%. You want to do that, Tyler?
Yeah, let's go for it.
All right, let's do that. So in order to set a 150, we'll go to our positions. We'll go back to XLE, our calendars. We already have an alert, a profit below 50%. So we could make that, like, we'll just let me know if it gets really low, like 15%. But this, we want to do 150% or 1.5. So yeah, so we'll exit there. And let's do the same thing for the other one.
Matt, I think you did a point. Shouldn't it be that's a stop loss of 15%?
Yeah, I don't want to know, like I don't really want to. I'm not really going to get out because of a stop loss. I just want to be alerted.
Right, but shouldn't that be much larger, like 15.0 or something like that? If you or don't you just want to get rid of it? You can just delete it, right? Because that right there is, I mean, that's less than the 50% stop loss we had before.
Right. I don't want to know unless it goes down to like 4 cents, and then I just said, okay, we probably lost on that. That's just an alert for. I don't want to know if it goes down 50% even. Like
right. No, that's why I'm saying to adjust it to a larger number. You see what I'm saying?
No, because I don't. This is saying only tell me if it's like it's probably 7 cents or something like that. Like that's the only time I want to know on the downside.
Okay.
But it's really the whole point of this is that on calendars you don't set a stop loss for the calendar. Right. And you're right, you should probably just delete it. But
yeah, I think deleting it's probably better.
Yeah, that's probably more clear because again, we've looked at those back tests and they said no, like it's either let it run type thing here. So it's probably 150. As a matter of fact, this should probably be 150. And the other one should be, the smaller one probably should be like, that should be the 300, right? So I'll delete that because the 300, so we'll set it at 3.
Yeah.
So those will be when we get out of those. That's a good point, Tyler.
Cool. All right. Now I'm looking forward to comparing those on the Trade Journal next week.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier because we can just go in and check out, the latest trades in the Trade Journal.
Yeah, that's great. Cool. Thanks for going over that, Matt, and demoing it. If anyone watching wants to test it out, just email us at support@orats.com with your account information. We'll get you set up on the beta version. Yeah, I think, good show, Matt. Do you have anything else?
No, again, if you want to try it out, come on over to ORATS. We probably had our biggest weekend of signups last weekend, so it's very popular. Come on over. There's a lot to learn, and we look forward to seeing you over here and trying out the Trade Journal.
All right, thanks, Matt. Well, our show time is changing to Tuesdays now at 10 a.m. Eastern. So catch us on the Trader Hub then. We'll be back again next week. As always, thank you, Trader, for hosting us. If you guys have any questions, just email us at support@orats.com or leave a comment in the YouTube video. All right, bye.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Matt.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.